Beautiful, unethical, dangerous. You've turned every cell phone in Gotham into a microphone.
And a high-frequency generator receiver.
You took my sonar concept and applied it to every phone in the city. With half the city feeding you sonar, you can image all of Gotham. This is wrong.
I've got to find this man, Lucius.
At what cost?
The database is now key encrypted. It can only be accessed by one person.
This is too much power for one person.
Could that be our future? As we're about to show you, there's virtually nowhere to hide in today's world. In the next installment of our special series, Surveillance Nation, our reporter Kim Lingle explains.
In the aftermath of the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, the market for video surveillance cameras skyrocketed both in the U.S. and around the world. The attacks coincided and further motivated technological advances that made it cheaper and easier to install and monitor surveillance equipment. A decade later, there hasn't been any other major attacks, but there are now an estimated 30 million security cameras constantly recording as a result. Video surveillance alone is a $3.2 billion industry, representing 1/3 of the overall security market. But surveillance techniques don't always involve cameras.
As president, I took an oath to defend the Constitution.
During an unusual live on-camera version of his weekly radio address, December 17, 2005, President George Bush admits to secretly signing an order that allowed the National Security Agency to eavesdrop on Americans' telephone calls without getting a warrant, an act that was previously considered unlawful. It was later revealed that President Bush signed the order back in 2002. That same year, media reports revealed that the Pentagon was working on what would later be dubbed the creepiest surveillance project ever. Under the leadership of Admiral John Poindexter, the government was constructing the largest data mining project ever undertaken. Called Total Information Awareness, the vision was to gather all sorts of personal data and analyze it for suspicious behavior patterns. News of the project was met with outrage, but many people didn't think it was much of a problem. The reason, they said, they've got nothing to hide.
Okay, Jed, what's coming? Double homicide, 1 male, 1 female.
If you thought this kind of technology existed only in Hollywood or science fiction, don't look now. Big Brother is one step closer to watching you all the time. The FBI has begun introducing its brand new $1 billion biometric next-generation identification system. It is, in essence, a nationwide database of mugshots, iris scans, DNA records, voice samples, and other biometrics. The program will tap into surveillance cameras to scan faces and match those images against a national database of known criminals. Security experts say the program will result in a faster identification of criminals and fewer unsolved cases. But privacy advocates say that such a system will inevitably sweep up scores of innocent people with no criminal record, and they worry about those caught on camera next to persons of interest, thereby winding up in a federal database or subjected to unwarranted surveillance. A few states have already begun uploading suspect and criminal photos into the system. The FBI's next-generation identification system is expected to be rolled out nationwide in 2014.
When it comes to threats to privacy, many people think that as long as you're not doing something illegal, you should have nothing to worry about. David, do you agree?
That makes me a little uncomfortable. The extent to which our personal identities, our actions are being monitored by the government, whether it be driving through a red light with a red light camera, or whether it be data mining, as we were just talking about there. Although I wish that the Romney campaign had some of these data mining people, because maybe we would have done a little better in the election. But yeah, there need to be some limits on it, and I think most importantly, it needs to be transparent so far as what are the limits that we're going to go to with respect to giving up our personal privacy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the key there, is you need oversight of these things, and you need accountability, and you need checks to make sure that power isn't being abused. What we don't want is some guy in a dark room somewhere with all control, like in the movie, which I think the movie's a little exaggerated, but the point is well taken. And so you know, they have to be constitutional. They have to follow all these things that we love about this country, and you know, there's a balance.
Right. And you kind of touched on where I would go with it, is that there is a check, and it's the Constitution. As long as that's not violated, then is surveillance okay? Sure, because the end result is a safer community for everybody. But I think there is a line where it can become personal surveillance becomes a problem when it gets into people's personal lives.
Well, we want you to tell us what you think. Go to facebook.com/Richard Finch Live and answer our question. If you have nothing to hide, should you be worried about privacy? And tune in tomorrow night for our special presentation, Surveillance Nation. We will be right back. Stay with us.